Welcome to another Open SDG tutorial. In this video, we'll look at how to enable and configure the new automatic progress calculation feature in Open SDG. I'll be using some example SDMX data in this video, including indicators with single series, multiple series, and disaggregations with no headline figure. Huge thanks to Statistics Canada for developing this robust methodology to auto-calculate progress and their work to help integrate this with OpenSDG for 2.4. You can access more information on this at our documentation site under Progress Methodology. The automated progress measurement functionality runs on OpenSDG versions 2.40 or later. To set up your site to display progress status, follow these steps. You'll want to be in your site repository and go to the _ data folder. Inside here, you should be able to find your site configuration file, which is under site_config.yaml. Click the pencil icon to edit this file, and then we'll need to scroll down to where we can see progress status. Should be on line 215. What you'll then need to do is go to our progress status guidance, copy these lines, replace them with what's in there by default, and what this does is add in the status types, so not available, deterioration, limited progress, etc. There's another step that you'll need to do inside this same folder. There will be a section called ignored disaggregations. So if I scroll up to where those will be. So ignored disaggregations will want to be stating that progress is in here. This is needed for the progress column functionality, which allows data conversions and transformations prior to the progress calculations. So you'll need to make sure that this is in there. Once completed, commit changes, create new branch, and call it progress. Create new pull request. Once the tests pass, merge this through. You've enabled the progress status to be shown on your site, but you'll also need to enable this auto progress calculation inside each indicator configuration. In this example, I'll show you how to do this on a simple indicator with just direction and limit as options. All of these settings and descriptions are available on our Read the Docs guidance inside the indicator configuration section. For this, you'll need to be inside your data repository, navigate to your indicator config folder, choose the indicator you want to enable auto progress calculation for. In this example, I'm going to be configuring 121. Inside this file, first thing you'll need to do is set the auto progress calculation status to be true. This tells OpenSDG to calculate the progress for this indicator, but you'll also need to configure the settings for it. For this, we'll be using progress calculation options. Before this, we would advise you to go to the Global Indicator Framework on our Read the Docs page. Here, you will be able to see the targets or desired direction for each indicator. We strongly recommend to use these as your progress calculation options. Where there is a numerical target, a direction should also be specified. Where some targets in the table have exceptions or are country dependent, countries should customize as best relevant to them. In this example, for 121, we have the target to reduce by half. I'm taking the data for 2015 as this is the start of the SDG reporting period and halving it, which will become the target. So in this example, 36.1, half of this is 18.05, which I will set as the options. Once these changes are reflected on your staging site, you should see the progress gauges displayed. If it's not what you're expecting, you may have to add more detail to your progress calculation options. In this next example, I will be adding series and adapting the base year for an indicator. For this indicator, you can see there are 5 series which need to be accounted for in the progress calculations. I can also see that data is available from 2014 but not 2015, which is the default base year. To configure this indicator to display progress, I'll need to access the indicator config file inside my data repository. Once you've accessed your indicator configuration file for the indicator you want to change, once again, I'll click the pencil icon to edit. Just as before, I'll need to set the auto progress calculation setting to true. I will also need to configure the progress calculation options. In this example, we have multiple series, and due to a large gap in the data, I will also want to change the base year for this. For the targets and direction, I will again refer to the global indicator framework on Read the Docs. For 141, the desired direction is to increase and the target is 100% for all series for access to basic services. I will need to set this for each series using the exact series wording. I will need to also set the options for each series in this indicator. I'll now commit these changes and start a new pull request to test. Taking all of the series into account for the calculation, the progress status has been measured as progress made but acceleration needed. If you have used the automated progress measurement functionality, it is strongly recommended to provide information on your platform that details this methodology. This ensures transparency so users can read about how the progress displaying on the platform has been calculated. We have created a summary page on Read the Docs, which should be linked within the FAQ section of your platform in your _pages folder in your site repository. To do this, go to _pages, access your FAQ.markdown, click the pencil icon to edit, and on our Read the Docs page inside the progress status guidance, we have the easy copy and paste for where to put your sections in. First, we'll need to add to the table of contents. Then I'll add this wording under the questions section. Once this has been added, I'll scroll to the top and click Commit Changes. Create a new branch and pull request for this. Create pull request. Wait for the test to pass, and once merged, they'll be reflected on your testing site. You'll then see the link inside your FAQ page. If you go to How has progress been calculated on the website, it will take you down to the section that explains. It will also give you a link to see the progress methodology summary page here, which will take you straight to our documentation site. Optionally, for the sake of clarity and transparency, a YAML file containing the settings and values used to calculate the progress for each series and indicator may be saved to your data repository during the data build. The output file will be named indicator_calculation_components.yaml. To have this appear, you'll need to add some lines to your deploy to staging workflow inside your data repository. This will need to be placed in between the build data and the place public file steps inside the workflow. These lines are available in the progress status page of our documentation site here, Copy the lines from our documentation site and place them here inside your deploy to staging workflow. The results of this will be available inside your data repository, where you can see a summary of all the calculation outputs for each indicator's progress measure. For more details on auto progress calculations and anything else with OpenSDG, please visit our documentation site at open-sdg.readthedocs.io. Thank you for watching this OpenSDG tutorial. Please access more on open-sdg.org.